The phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. A sharp, insistent hum that sliced through the quiet of our home. I froze, my hand halfway to the coffee pot, the air suddenly thick with a dread I couldn't name. It was her phone, Lila's, vibrating against the granite, the screen lighting up with a name I didn't recognize. Mark. My stomach twisted, a cold knot forming where warmth had lived just moments before. Lila was upstairs, her laughter drifting down as she played with our daughter, Sophie. The sound, once my anchor, now felt like a lie. I didn't mean to look. I swear I didn't. But the message preview glowed like a beacon. Last night was incredible. When can I see you again? I stood there, the world tilting under my feet. Lila and I had been married for 8 years, built a life on promises whispered in the dark, on shared dreams and quiet mornings like this one. She'd always been my certainty, the one constant in a life that had thrown me too many curveballs. But that message, it was a crack in the foundation, a fracture I couldn't unsee. My hand shook as I picked up her phone, the weight of it heavier than it should have been. I typed in her passcode, our anniversary 0428, and the screen unlocked, revealing a thread that stretched back months. My heart pounded, each beat a hammer against my ribs, as I scrolled through words that weren't meant for me. You make me feel alive again. I can't stop thinking about you. He doesn't suspect anything. We're careful. Each message was a blade slicing through the life I thought I knew. Lila, my Lila, with her soft brown eyes and the smile that could pull me out of any darkness. She was someone else's now. Or maybe she always had been, and I'd been too blind to see it. The kitchen, with its familiar smells of coffee and toast, felt alien. Like I'd stumbled into someone else's story. I heard her footsteps on the stairs, light and carefree, and I shoved the phone back onto the counter, my pulse racing. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think past the betrayal burning in my chest. Morning, love, Lila said, her voice warm as she stepped into the kitchen, Sophie trailing behind her with a stuffed bunny clutched in her arms. She leaned in to kiss my cheek and I flinched, the touch searing like a brand. Her brow furrowed, that little crease I'd always found adorable, now a question I didn't want to answer. You okay, David? You look pale. I forced a smile, my lips tight, my voice a stranger's. Just tired. Didn't sleep well. The lie tasted bitter, but I needed time to process, to understand how the woman I loved could do this. Sophie ran to me, her small arms wrapping around my legs, and I scooped her up, burying my face in her hair. She smelled like strawberries and innocence, and for a moment I could pretend nothing had changed. But the phone sat there, silent and accusing, a ticking bomb between us. The day dragged on, each moment a performance. I played the part of the devoted husband, nodding at Lila's stories about work, laughing at Sophie's chatter, but inside I was unraveling. My mind replayed the messages, dissecting every word, every date. Last night, she'd said she was at a work dinner, home late because of a client meeting that ran long. I'd believed her, kissed her goodnight, never once doubting the woman who'd promised to love me forever. How many other lies had I swallowed? How many nights had she slipped away, leaving me to hold the pieces of a life she no longer wanted? That evening, after Sophie was tucked in, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Lila was on the couch, scrolling through her phone, the same phone that had torn my world apart. I sat across from her, the distance between us a chasm. Who's Mark? I asked, my voice low, trembling with the effort to stay calm. Her fingers froze, her eyes snapping to mine. For a heartbeat she was still, like a deer caught in headlights. Then she laughed, a nervous, brittle sound. Mark? Just a guy from work. Why? Don't lie to me, Lila. My voice cracked, the pain spilling out. I saw the messages. Last night was incredible. What the hell, Lila? What's going on? Her face crumpled, the mask slipping. She set the phone down, her hands shaking, and for a moment I thought she'd deny it, spin another story to keep me in the dark. But then her shoulders sagged and she looked at me, really looked at me for the first time in what felt like years. David, I'm so sorry, she whispered, tears welling in her eyes. I didn't mean for this to happen. Didn't mean for what to happen? I snapped, my voice rising despite myself. For you to cheat? To lie to me? To destroy everything we've built? Sophie's laughter from earlier echoed in my mind, a cruel reminder of what was at stake. How long, Lila? How long have you been sneaking around? She swallowed, her gaze dropping to her lap. 6 months, she said, her voice barely audible. It started as nothing. Just talking. He listened, David. He saw me. And I didn't? The words tore out of me raw and jagged. I've been here, Lila. Every day loving you, raising our daughter, trying to make this work. Was that not enough? It wasn't about you, she said, her voice breaking. It was me. I felt lost. Like I was drowning in being a wife, a mom, a coworker. Mark, he made me feel like I was more than that. Like I was me again. Her words hit like a punch, stealing my breath. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to make her see the wreckage she'd caused. But all I could do was sit there, my hands clenched, my heart splintering. Do you love him? I asked, dreading the answer. She hesitated, and that pause was an answer in itself. I don't know, she said finally. I love you, David. I do. But I feel something for him too. The room spun, the walls closing in. I stood, needing to move, to escape the suffocating truth. I trusted you, I said, my voice hollow. I gave you everything, and you threw it away. I'm sorry, she sobbed, reaching for me, but I stepped back out of her reach. Please, David, we can fix this. For Sophie. For us. I looked at her, the woman I'd loved since we were 20. The mother of my child, the keeper of my heart. And all I saw was a stranger. I don't know if we can, I said, the words heavy with finality. I don't know if I can ever look at you the same. I walked out, the night air cold against my skin, the stars above indifferent to my pain. Behind me, Lila's sobs faded, but the weight of her betrayal clung to me. A shadow I couldn't shake. I didn't know what came next, forgiveness, divorce, or something in between. All I knew was that the life I'd known was gone, shattered by a message I was never meant to see. And as I stood there alone in the dark, I realized the hardest truth of all. Love, once broken, might never fit back together the same way.